Alright, blending mode. We are coming to blending mode. Now in Photoshop, there are a lot of things that can be blended together. Blending is all about filling in different information over another information. Now let's take a look at this image. What if we don't want this image to come out in this color, right? We can either choose to do so many things with it. The first blending mode I'll be teaching you is opacity. We can see from this side the opacity is shown as 100%, and if the image is selected and we come and reduce, the more we reduce the opacity, the lighter it becomes and the more it fades away and fades away. And because this background layer is occupied, is fading into the background. So the first blending mode we can do is to reduce the opacity after we have a layer. Let me lock this layer, and we can go and keep reducing the opacity or increasing it as the case may be to fit what we want it to be. That is the first way. Now the second way is leaving the opacity at 100. We can come to this box here. For the blending modes, we have normal, we have dissolve, we have darken, we have multiply, we have color burn. I hope you can see the changes. As we're working on it. So we can choose which one do we want it to be, how do we want it to mix with the color. I think this is cool. I love this luminosity. So we can have that, and we have blended. We can have that, and we have blended the image or two backgrounds over each other. Note that the image you are blending is going to work just over the next one. That is to say, if we drag this background over this lady's picture, it's going to try to blend over that picture with the same blending option you have chosen. So we come back and we have it this way. We have the image over this and it's blended over this background. If we change the background image also, note if we want to change it, it will not work because it's locked. So no effect will work on any locked layer. So you have to unlock the layer, do your shift and backspace, and we'll change it to foreground color, which is orange, and we'll see what the blending looks like also. So the blending is all dependent on what image layer we have there written. Okay, so also another blending mode again for using on the background. Let me revert this back to normal. Is to right click on the background, then we can see blending options. Now this blending options gives us a whole lot of things to do. There are a whole lot of options for blending. The first one is we have the bevel and emboss, we have the stroke, we have the inner shadow, outer glow, skin, and satin, color, gradient, pattern, overlay, and drop shadow. Where each of these are going to be used will be explained later once we start typography in full. But for now, we can choose to use either the color overlay or the gradient overlay. If we use the color overlay, it's a way of overlaying a color. If we leave it at normal, and let me use something reddish. If you use it as normal, it overlays and covers the background entirely. So it's up to you, just like we did over the background. You can come, dissolve, darken, multiply, linear, and keep trying all the color combinations until we finally see one that suits what we're looking for. Alright, we have it that way. And we can also use a gradient. What is a gradient? A gradient is a mix of two colors, right? A gradient is a mixture of two or more colors representing a color space. So we can come to gradient. By default, we already have different types of gradients already made for us. You can have this gradient. I can come to choose this gradient. It is, and we click on OK, and we can also come to this place and say, okay, let it be lighting, okay, which is not showing. Let it be add light, which you can see the effect here. Alright, I'll be taking my time to talk about blending option tools one after the other in the next video.